In the heart of 19th century Serbia, two uneducated villagers whispered visions of the future. Visions so precise, they would come to haunt generations. What did the Tarabic prophets really see? And could their final prophecy be happening right now? On June 28, 1914, a Serbian nationalist assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife on the streets of Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. 1 month later, the Austro-Hungarian Empire formally declared war on Serbia, triggering the outbreak of World War I. What most people don't know is that it was this very war that made two Serbian farmers famous worldwide, because they had accurately predicted the war decades in advance. Not only that, they also accurately predicted World War II, and even spoke of a third world war, which the entire world now fears. This is the Kremna Prophecy. Rise to fame. Kremna is a small village in the southwest of Serbia. In the village, there was a respected family of prophets, the Tarabic family. The men of the family were believed to have varying degrees of prophetic abilities. The most famous among them were Mitar Tarabić and his nephew Mitar, who lived in the 19th century. Their prophecies came from the visions they saw. Milos, the uncle, died quite early. But as Mitar aged, his prophetic powers grew stronger. Especially after he predicted King Milan I's divorce, his fame spread far and wide. As the visions became increasingly incredible, particularly scenes of war and rivers of blood, Mitar felt that what he was seeing was not just local events, but something from far away. From a distant future, with wider implications, a sense of mission arose within him. He felt he had to record these visions to warn future generations. But there was a problem. Mitar was illiterate. He did not know how to write. So how could he do that? His godfather, the village priest, Zahara Zaharic, said, "That's easy. I'll write them down for you." And so Zaharic helped Mitar record 34 prophecies. These prophecies are easy to understand, very straightforward, and sometimes even name specific individuals, making it easy to match with real-world events. For example, in 1903, the then King Alexander of Serbia and his queen were both assassinated by their own guards. The exiled Prince Petar Karađorđević was then installed as the new king. The prophecy had stated, "After the king and queen are assassinated, the Karađorđević family will come to power." A remarkably accurate prediction. World War I and World War II? Regarding World War I, Mitar said it would be a great war in which the entire world will be in conflict, and much blood will be spilled. What about Serbia? A stronger army will come from the north and crush us. Our land will be destroyed. We will die in large numbers from hunger and disease. For 3 years, Serbia will live in complete darkness. During this time, our wounded army will be abroad, in a place surrounded by sea, cared for by friends from overseas. The historical fact is, in 1915, Germany occupied Serbia until the end of wwiii in 1918, 3 full years. Many Serbs died from hunger and disease. The Serbian army and government fled to the Greek island of Corfu, a place surrounded by sea. The prophecy and the reality match almost perfectly. Mitar even told his godfather Zaharic that he would not live to see the end of the war and would die in its final year, and that the war would take away 2 of his grandsons, one before and one after his death. Zaharic, undeterred, faithfully recorded this conversation. And it turned out to be true. If Mitar's prophecy about wwiii focused on Serbia and those around him, his predictions about World War II were from a broader perspective, overlooking all of Europe. Here's what he said. All of Europe will be under the rule of a bent inverted cross. This bent inverted cross is described vividly. Everyone knows what that symbolizes. At first, Russia will not start the war, but when attacked by the evil army, it will retaliate. A red Tsar will sit on the Russian throne. At the start of World War II, the Soviet Union Russia, in the prophecy, remained neutral. But on June 1941, 3 million German troops invaded the USSR, prompting retaliation. The Red regime of the Soviet Union, under Stalin, was accurately depicted as the Red Tsar. Not only that, Russia will form alliances with great maritime nations. They will burn the bent inverted cross and free all the enslaved people of Europe. The great maritime nations clearly refer to the UK and the US. Next, the peace era. After 2 world wars, the world lay in ruins. As nations began to rebuild, people started to reflect. How do we avoid future wars? And if war is inevitable, how do we protect ourselves? This led to increased attention to all kinds of prophecies. God, especially the Kremna Prophecy, which had a 100% accuracy rate up to the end of World War II. Why? Because the true purpose of prophecy is to warn people before disaster strikes. Those lucky enough to decipher prophecies may prepare in advance and escape calamity. So what have people uncovered in the Kremna Prophecy over the past 70 years? Post-war and modern times. After World War II, the world moved toward globalization. The global village appeared. Correspondingly, Mitar's visions began to reflect a global perspective, filled with bizarre and surreal imagery of the future. After the war, the world will enter a time of peace. Many new nations will emerge: black, white, red, yellow. An international court will be formed, forbidding nations from fighting each other. This clearly refers to the United Nations General Assembly. In the fast-paced post-war era, change came rapidly, something Mitar also captured. People will leave rural areas to seek work in big cities. More and more women will cut their hair short and wear long pants. Children born out of wedlock will become common. People were moving farther from traditional lifestyles. But peace would last a long time. A generation will be born and die in peace, knowing of war only through wise books, writings, and strange illusions. This suggests peace would last at least one generation. World War II ended over 70 years ago, so this prophecy proved true. The strange illusions are commonly interpreted as movies. Modern culture symbols are all found in the prophecy. For example, carts without oxen, a simple but fitting description of modern cars from the viewpoint of a 19th century farmer. People will travel in the sky, meaning airplanes. They will dig deep underground for golden liquid that brings them light, speed, and power. This gold is the so-called black gold, meaning oil. But the earth will shed tears of sorrow and suffer from these open wounds. And not just digging, humans would venture into space. People will drive drills on the moon and stars, searching for life. But they won't find beings like us. Life will be there, but they won't understand it. Clearly, this refers to moon landings. And the life we can't find, could that be aliens silently observing us? Technology and alienation. What about phones and the internet, now essential to daily life? They're there too. The prophecy speaks of a special box with small devices that show images. With it, people will be able to see everything happening around the world. But the more people know, the less love and care they show for each other. They care more for their devices than their loved ones. A man will trust his device more than his neighbor. This is a strikingly accurate portrayal of our modern dependence on smartphones and how we've become isolated islands in the internet age. Everything is changing quietly, but disaster may be brewing silently. The next war. The internet age is also the era of big data. Algorithms now influence how people think. The prophecy says, those who believe they know much will live according to what numbers tell them. Among these scholars, some will be good, but the wicked will commit evil deeds, poisoning the air, water, sea, rivers, and earth. People will die suddenly from various diseases. But, like many prophecies, a solution is also offered: praying. Good and wise people will seek wisdom through praying, not numbers. As they pray more, they'll grow closer to divine wisdom, but it will be too late. The wicked will have ravaged the earth, and people will begin dying en masse. Then they'll flee cities for the countryside, seeking a mountain with 3 crosses. There, they'll breathe and drink. Those who escape will save themselves and their families. But not for long, for a great famine will follow. War will erupt in people's anger. This time, a strange new weapon will appear. When they explode, these strange bombs won't kill all life, people, armies, and animals. A spell will make them sleep. Battles will be replaced by slumber, and afterward, they'll regain their senses. And then, at the end of the world, there will be one country, surrounded by sea, as big as Europe. It will live in peace and safety. Those who ran and hid in the mountain of 3 crosses will find refuge and be saved to pursue a life of abundance, happiness, and love, because there will be no more war. No one has fully decoded this part yet, especially the sleep-inducing spell, or the nation of the 3 crosses. Some speculate that this peaceful land might be Australia, about the size of Europe, surrounded by sea, and with a flag containing 3 crosses, 2 in the Union Jack, and 1 in the Southern Cross constellation. However, those familiar with Christian history offer another interpretation. In Christianity, 3 crosses symbolize the crucifixion of Jesus between 2 thieves. One thief repented and was saved. The other didn't and was condemned. To a devout believer like Mitar, the 3 crosses may represent a divine call for repentance. Even at the final moment, one can receive salvation. The true sanctuary lies within one's heart. Those who believe in God, even if their bodies perish, their souls will find peace. The Kremna Prophecy book is now available in a new edition.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share it, because some stories are meant to be discovered together. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next chapter.